How does a small team create levels and environments for a fun, chaotic party golf game? Today, we will be taking a look at Super Battle Golf. To make a game approachable for all ages, regardless of whether you enjoy playing golf or not, the team went with a stylized art style. This keeps the game fun and adds a charming flair. As a player, it is very easy to tell which part of the terrain you are in just by simply looking at the color of the grass. And if there is a diagonal pattern on the grass, signals the fact that you're on the fairway and heading towards the hole and the flag of that hole. The UI design also does a great job of complementing this. Right before you swing the club, there is a meter that appears on your left side, and you can see at what strength you will hit which type of terrain: the rough, the fairway, water hazards, etc. Rarely on a hole will you find unintentional trees or props cluttering the fairway. Unless the hole is designed to provide some extra difficulty, most assets are kept to the outside to help ground you to the biome of the course. As of this recording, there are 4 biomes: the beach, the forest, the desert, and the snow. When it comes to the environment and asset design for the game, you will see a ton of reuse in terms of assets. Being a smaller team and keeping the game approachable and focused more on the golf and the chaos that can occur when playing with 8 or more players in your lobby. This is the right call. You will see on the assets that there are no micro details. No normal maps are created, and everything is hand painted or uses a color with a gradient to give it some minor color variations. The terrain tool is doing lots of the heavy lifting in this game. The level and the environment artists are likely having tons of fun sculpting the heights and undulations for each hole, reusing the same textures to paint which areas would be the fairway, the rough, the sand, water, and the snow equivalent. To add some motion to the environment, you will see some mild wind swirls that fly by the air. The clouds also move in the vista. When you run on sand or in the snow, you do leave footprints behind, which is a nice little touch that keeps things feeling more grounded and that you are affecting the world you play in. And lastly, when you run over water, you can see water splashing VFX. In terms of lighting, there's no surprise here. They kept it very simple, with a directional sunlight and during one time of day per biome. In my footage, I'm playing solo. This game is meant to be played multiplayer with your mates. If you look at footage online, it is absolutely chaotic. This heavily supports the smart decision to keep things lower poly, textures to be more simple, and animations at a minimal. What makes or breaks multiplayer games is frame rate and desyncing latency issues. Going with this art approach helps reduce that risk. Here are a couple things I noticed that were missing due to the reasons above, and the team decided to omit. There is no movement from the trees and bushes. The water has minimal animation happening when it hits the shore of the beach, but there is no subtle animation like a UV scroll to simulate waves in the main body of the water. There are no cute little critters like squirrels or birds moving about in the environment. So what can we take away from the environment art of Super Battle Golf? Understand the type of game you are creating and the target market. Less is more in this case. Not every game needs high quality AAA art. Understand what is most important to sell the biome and don't make anything extra if it is unnecessary. I hope you all enjoyed this environment art study. If you noticed something I missed, let me know in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and see you all next time.